Hello. I hope I'm live here, and I welcome you to Midweek Refuel. And I can tell I'm sideways, and I'm not sure what to do about it. If you'll hang in here for just a minute, I'm going to turn that way and see if it'll adjust. You can't turn your phone while recording. Guys, that's not going to be good. I may have to hold this phone, and I wasn't planning on doing that. And if my wife will call me on the office phone, she can tell me if I'm good. Well, she knows I'm good. Anyway, you've reached the Pierce Chapel United Methodist Church Midweek Refuel. And my name is Howard White. I welcome you here. It's just me today. Sorry about that. No special music, no special visuals. You're in my office where I work some. And lately, I haven't been working here a whole lot. Actually, we had a little accident in here recently where the air conditioner in the office backed up. The water from the condenser, what do you call that water? That pipe backed up and it flowed down the wall in my office of all places, and we've had to have the people in here with fans blowing and everything. But it's pretty good today. I could not work in here very well recently. But nonetheless, I'm glad to be with you today, and I want to share with you something that's been on my heart for quite some time, and I want to talk with you about the idea of truth. You may remember that Jesus said that the truth can set you free. And he said that in the Gospel of John, in chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. And the setting where Jesus says the truth will make you free or set you free is he's speaking to a group of Jews. And these Jews have believed on him and they're following him, according to John. And Jesus turns to them and he says, if you continue in my word, and if you continue in my word, you truly are my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Now, truth is a word that gets tossed around flippantly today, if you ask me, and it really irritates me. You'll sometimes hear people talk about their personal truth. Well, there is no such thing as personal truth. What they're talking about really is their opinion. And because truth is absolute. Truth is not abstract. Truth does not change. Truth is eternal. And truth is the same for everyone because it comes from God. There's not a truth for you and a truth for me. There's one truth and it comes from God. There can be no personal truth. Truth is not an opinion. And when people elevate their opinion to the status of truth, you need to be careful, because if your truth or your opinion conflicts with God's truth, you want to be careful, because God's truth is correct. God's truth is eternal and absolute. And so Jesus is saying, if you continue in my word, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. From what? It's a legitimate question. And I'll tell you, one of the most difficult things for any of us to ever do is face the truth, especially about ourselves. We prefer, believe it or not, to believe lies about ourselves. But facing the truth is one of the keys to growth. And I'm talking about spiritual growth, and I'm talking about personal growth. There's a famous line from a famous movie, and that movie is A Few Good Men. It starred Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. And if you know the movie, you probably know where I'm going, because there's this famous climactic scene where Tom, who plays a Navy lawyer, is cross-examining Jack Nicholson, who is playing a Marine colonel, and he's in trouble. And Tom yells at him, "I want the truth." And Jack Nicholson yells back, "You can't handle the truth." It's a powerful scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in all moviedom. But what he says is factual, because we avoid the truth about ourselves. We have a hard time handling the truth, especially when it is about ourselves. Yet embracing truth about ourselves is key to personal growth. If we are blind to our own flaws, if we are blind to our own shortcomings, our own growing edges, and if we can only see the shortcomings in other people and not see our own shortcomings, it will stunt our personal growth spiritually and emotionally and every otherwise. If we cannot take a fair evaluation, an honest, fair evaluation from an employer, for example, or from our spouse, or from a close friend who's trying to help us, if we cannot take a fair, honest evaluation, a truthful evaluation without getting angry about it and turning it off, we cannot grow. Truth is key to spiritual and emotional growth. Have you ever had someone that you wanted to say something to for their good, but you wouldn't or couldn't do it because you knew they would not be able to receive it? You knew it would make them angry if they heard the truth about themselves. That's what I'm talking about. We can't handle truth. We cling to lies about ourselves rather than the truth about ourselves. When you do tell someone the truth, typically we do it tenderly. We do it gently. We do it compassionately because we understand how difficult truth can be to hear and to receive. But truth is the very thing that will set us free for personal and spiritual growth. Often we cling to the lies about ourselves by deflecting responsibility onto someone else for what we've done or for what we haven't done. It's kind of our human tendency to want to absolve ourselves and blame others and see ourselves as a victim. One of my favorite deflections that I've heard people use over the years is, that teacher failed me. No, you failed the class or you failed the course. It might be that they didn't pass you in spite of your failure, but no, you failed the class. The teacher didn't fail you. You see, it's our human tendency to want to absolve ourselves, blame others. And as long as we look elsewhere for the source of our problems, as long as we look elsewhere rather than look at ourselves, we will never grow. Truth is key to personal growth. And Jesus says that truth will set you free. And that's what we're talking about. Now, I don't want to ignore this, there are true victims in life. And as terrible as that is, only the victim can look at the truth of that reality and turn that situation around. In other words, only you can face the truth of that reality and begin from that point moving forward in a positive direction. You can be a victim for the rest of your life, or you can start with the truth from that point, pick yourself up, and grow from there. But do you hear my point? Facing and embracing truth is key to personal growth and to spiritual growth. If it's always someone else's fault, you will never grow, you will never mature. But if we can face the truth about ourselves, it will free us to begin to grow spiritually and personally. I have dealt with relationships of all kinds in my ministry, which spans over 30 years now. I'm talking about marriage relationships, parenting relationships, sibling relationships, work relationships, committee relationships here at the church, staff relationships. One of the hardest things to help any of us do is embrace the truth about ourselves and to help people embrace the truth about what they do to contribute to failed relationships. And to quit focusing on the contributions of other people to that failure. And that's what we typically want to do. That's our human nature, but we need to be looking at ourselves. When I begin to focus on the truth of what I've done, when I begin to focus on what I can do from this moment forward, then I'm ready to change. Then I'm ready to grow in a positive direction. The truth is what sets us free. And you see, Jesus understood this. Following the life and the teachings of Jesus, modeling his life will do more to put us in touch with truth than any self-help book you will find on the market. When we contrast our lives to his life and see the truth of who we are in relation to who he is, we will be confronted with the truth we need that will lead to spiritual growth. So what are you doing to embrace truth about yourself and about Jesus? Jesus said, if you abide in my word, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But turn that around. If you do not abide in his word, you will not know the truth, and you will not be free. You see, it's a choice. Are you free or are you not free? That's the question. Are you drawn to truth that can be uncomfortable, that can be challenging, or are you more drawn to the lies about yourself that deflect the truth and that blame others? Only you can answer that. But consider this. There are groups of traits. There's a group of traits that fit in the family of truth. And there is a group of traits, human traits, that fit in the family of lies. For example, in the family of truth, there's honesty, there's integrity, there's vulnerability, transparency, and humility, and they're all in the family I would call truth. In the family of lies, the traits are deceit, deception, spin, confusion, secrecy, dishonesty, arrogance, and they're all in that family group we would call lies. You know, those things may feel good in the moment to only focus on and own the lies of our lives, but they lead to destruction because they are not of God. We need truth, and I'm talking real truth, not alternative truth, not slanted truth, not truth that's really just someone else's opinion, and not truth that's been twisted and spun in such a way that now it's a lie. No, we need truth, because truth empowers us and sets us free, and that truth is found only in Jesus Christ and none other. Hey, God bless you tonight. And I look forward to having you join us on Sunday morning for our love stream. It'll be at 10 o'clock from our studio up at the church. And Lynn and I will both be there. And I don't know what special music we're going to have at this time, but I'm sure there'll be some special music. I'm pretty confident we're going to have a special little dramatic presentation that relates to my text for that day. And that text, I'll tell you in advance, is coming from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 13. Just read that chapter. It's a parable that Jesus tells. He tells the parable and then he explains it. It's about the broadcasting of seed on different kinds of soil. And we're going to talk about that Sunday morning. But in the meantime, live in the truth. It'll set you free. Hey, God bless you. Hope to see you Sunday morning. Thanks for joining.